Manipulative lying sack of shit.
Is a little bit insecure for somebody that makes commentary videos.
Materwelon, another hated figure in the commentary community.
This is the dumbass who almost got literally everything wrong in a video, manipulated screenshots.
I've never gotten hate before on the internet. Is it scary?
Jesus Christ, why did I decide to start creating commentary videos? Okay, welcome back, small commentary audience. I hope you're here to listen because there is a lot to discuss today. So, as most of you will probably know, recently I released my video on the commentator Blaz, who had used my artwork without consent, and over the past week this situation has been unnecessarily blown way out of proportion, with a lot of manipulative counter videos aimed at people like Communist Creeper and me having been released, and I unfortunately feel the need to clarify a lot of information that has been misrepresented by certain people involved in the situation. So in this video we will go over the 3 counter videos aimed directly at me one by one, and I'm going to showcase how a lot of the arguments and evidence in these videos are actually a lot more misleading and manipulative than you might have originally thought. However, as an important disclaimer, please be respectful and do not send harassment to anybody I will mention in this video. I directly condemn sending hate here. That being said, I will have every chapter of this rebuttal timestamped, so feel free to skip to the parts you're interested in the most if you can't be bothered to watch the whole thing. But first, a quick recap for those who have not seen my first video on this situation. As a short summary, I basically accused this guy Blaz of stealing my artwork after I discovered one of his videos by coincidence while doing research for a Tokyo's Revenge follow-up video. Therefore, I reached out to him privately, and obviously we were unable to reach an argument. Instead, he basically doubled down, which led me to publicly release a video calling him out for taking my artwork, amongst other criticisms of his channel and content. I will summarize my main points here for future reference. I criticized him for obviously using my material without consent, refusing to settle things privately, having stolen other thumbnails in the past, sending his audience to my way smaller channel, his mishandling of the Tokyo's Revenge allegations, lying about somebody sending him my thumbnail, and I made fun of his music for obviously recycling Juice WRLD bars. Although that doesn't really matter for the bigger picture here, it was more of me just clowning him, so I'll put it in brackets. And do you want to know how many of my points Blaz addressed in his debunking the allegations video? Yeah, it's only one. But before we get into that, I need to address some stuff a lot of people have been fooled to believe or just genuinely misunderstood about this whole situation. First of all, I am not Communist Creeper, alright? So Communist Creeper is obviously a bigger creator that made a video about this situation heavily favoring my side of the story, but that doesn't mean I support every argument that he brought up. He does deliver a lot of interesting points to the table, and feel free to watch this video on the situation for further context. However, I don't agree with everything, and I do believe he could have articulated himself a lot better. I say all this because through one of the response videos, many people have been tricked into thinking I somehow backed Creeper to support me with a video of his own, when in reality I never intended for this to blow up. Creeper was the one who reached out to me because he quote wanted to make my voice be heard, which I still appreciate even though this had been overblown to ridiculous heights at this point. And he even took all his information from my video and not from me in private like some people might want you to believe. Except for one tiny point regarding self-promotion, which I consider to be way too petty to bring up in my video, and since we're different people, I'm not going to cover any videos aimed at Creeper today, as that is to be settled between Blaz and Creeper themselves, and I just want to make things right and leave the ship behind. They can keep on fighting, but I honestly just want to escape this. I mean, this situation has deteriorated to them accusing each other of being racist, Nazis, and subbotting. The subbotting shit might be valid, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I know enough about the YouTube algorithm to indefinitely state whether someone faked their subs or not. I mean, he could have just deleted old videos, for example. Additionally, I never claimed he was using Juice WRLD for views. That was entirely done by Communist Creeper. I know this kind of drags on, but there's been so much misinformation spread that I just have to address it all before they make 10 videos again. So just to be clear, I never called him a Nazi either. That had been Communist Creeper, and I heavily disagree with the sentiment of this kid being anti-Semitic. If your only takeaway from my 20-minute video was that this kid is a Nazi, then you clearly did not watch my video and just believed whatever some guy that made a commentary video on Communist Creeper said. And finally, I'm sick of everybody that covers the situation pronouncing my name wrong. It's not Materwelon, it's not Materwelon, and it's certainly not Materwelon, it's Materwelon. Watermelon, and you exchange the M and W. Materwelon. Easy. Okay, let's actually get into the videos now. Okay, so the man himself, Blaz, presumably didn't take my video too well, so he decided to upload a response titled "Debunking Allegations Made Towards Me," which ironically fails to debunk anything, and he even himself admits it's not supposed to debunk anything, but rather his mom forced him to change the title, which is a great statement. But let's actually get into what he's trying to argue for in his his video.
I did not make my thumbnail, and I went on Google and I searched up Tokyo's Revenge drama, and I stole a thumbnail.
This is ironically the only point this guy actually addresses in his initial response, and it is such a blatant contradiction that it's almost laughable anybody even believe this guy, because this directly contradicts with him previously stating that somebody sent him this thumbnail and he didn't bother to check if it was actually made by this person. Now we know that this was probably a lie in order to deflect responsibility onto somebody else.
But to be honest, it's just kind of sad that you can't even use an image off of Google without getting canceled. Because I'm not the only YouTuber in this little commentary, whatever you call it, this little group that has used pictures off of Google.
I mean, yeah, if you're really that lazy, then you can just take a picture of Google as your thumbnail on YouTube. Pegasus, for example, does the same for his commentary videos, and his channel certainly isn't doing too bad. However, I'd still say if you're gonna use an image of Google, then at least go through the 15 seconds of effort of changing the image settings to can be shared and used, before you just take the first picture that comes up.
Materwelon, or whoever the fuck I stole that thumbnail from, he sounds like he's in his 30s, okay?
Yeah, I'm not 30, I really don't know how you could think I am. I'm more around 17, but hey, I appreciate it. I actually thought most people assumed I'm younger because of my voice, but anyway, this is really all he talks about in his first video. But he does bring up some more points in greater detail in this video, and I want to show you how he's actually false here.
If you got your information from Materwelon and didn't even ask me or other people that were involved in the situation and believed one source, you should get tested for mental retardation. If I was Materwelon, I could have just fucking lied and said, he showed me his dildo and he's gay, and you would have believed him.
No, these are not creeper sources. I did not go and tell him any important information about this. He just saw my video and then released his own. Although I can somewhat understand the sentiment of him not taking into account the other side of things. But then again, I guess you could just cover a situation objectively, or you could just be throwing yourself out here completely supporting one side, like both of your friends did, for example. And I still greatly appreciate his video, even though it gave a lot of ammunition to the other side.
About 50% or more of the stuff in that video that he made on me was just complete bullshit.
So this is kind of funny. He tells his audience that more than 50% of my video was complete bullshit, when in reality he only ever tried to refute one point, and his argument for that point obviously completely contradicted with what he previously said, meaning he kinda shot himself in the foot there. So if you're gonna come at me and claim that more than 50% of my video was false, then prove it, or at least address some of my arguments. Ignoring the fact that he previously contradicts himself, he now tries to run with the "I took it from Google" argument, and this is later also supported by Wheatenly, and I find it to be extremely manipulative. Before this video he stated he looked up Tokyo's Revenge, and now he says it's Tokyo's Revenge exposed, and if I were one of them right now I'd probably make this out to be some massive contradiction and call him a slanderous manipulator, but I don't need to act that way in order to get my argument across, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he meant to say he searched Tokyo's Revenge exposed all along. Despite that, he's clearly twisting the truth here. Going way back, you all remember the reason I even found this video? It's cause Tokyo's Revenge strike down all the bigger videos covering his allegations, meaning only a small fraction of the original videos are still up, and from my understanding only one video had been reinstated. But when Blaz took this thumbnail, all of the videos were still up, as it had been a couple of days after these allegations even came out, and if you searched up Tokyo's Revenge, there's no way my image would have shown up first. But even with Tokyo's Revenge exposed, there would have been a lot of images on top of mine, seeing as I only had 48 subs when I dropped my video. So even though it comes up now, cause most of the bigger stuff had been deleted, at the time he had to search quite a bit in order to find this image on Google. But even if he didn't, I don't understand how this guy is still talking about how he just thought this was a random image, like especially as a content creator himself. I doubt he wouldn't know how a thumbnail looks. Like, what other occasion was this picture used for if not for a YouTube thumbnail? This is obviously not something Tokyo posted himself, and articles never use styles similar to that. So please don't sit here and tell me you just took this for a normal image of Tokyo. And also, like, if you just pressed on it, you would have seen, oh, this is from a YouTube video, which to be honest is plausible. I'm not saying you did 100% steal my thumbnail out of malicious intent, but based on all the stuff I brought up, it is not to be ruled out. But that was basically all he addressed in his own videos. His friends bring up new stuff we'll get into in just a second, but first, one major argument in my video gets ignored by all of them, and I really don't want to have to deal with any bad responses anymore, so I will clarify why his poor Tokyo's revenge coverage was important to bring up. In his 4-minute video that is lacking of any substance, he gets a lot of shit wrong. He claims Tokyo publicly apologized when he never addressed it. He says the girl is 17 when in reality she's only 15, and he says Tokyo is 21 and not 24. And these research errors will change your viewer's perception of the story. A then 19-year-old guy sending pictures to a 15-year-old and publicly speaking on it is still very bad, but it gives off different implications than what actually happened. That being him from 22 till 24 talking to multiple 13 to 14-year-olds and the girl that came forward only being 15. This is why I brought it up in my video, as his coverage depicted a different story than what actually happened. Okay, all clear? Nobody trying to refute that point? Good, let's move on. Okay, so the next guy out of this friend group that made a video against me is this dude, DeekayTheRapper, who I'm certain creates beautiful rap music. And let's jump right into what he has to say.
He stole the Watermelon guy's like thumbnail or whatever. Now this wouldn't be that big of a deal if they just handled it in a mature way instead of whining and complaining like they're doing right now.
So this guy complains about me being immature during this whole situation, and you wanna know what this dude does behind the scenes? He added me on Discord saying he just wants to talk, and then he just spams me with my thumbnail and also goes onto random Discord servers sending it in there as well. So great for you that you're able to handle things so maturely when I have been nothing but polite after my video dropped, despite all the pushback I got from you guys. So the fact that this guy is sitting here trying to tell me I'm this unprofessional, immature, whiny bitch is just so hypocritical.
The video is 20 minutes long over him complaining about him stealing a thumbnail.
Yeah, it's not like I had my video in chapters and brought up a lot of different points that weren't even related to my thumbnail. Nah, I'm sure I just cried for 20 minutes begging Communist Creeper to save me from this evil 14-year-old bully who's taking all my thumbnails. To go bitch about it to any bigger commentators I know to gain their support and pressure these people into removing my copyrighted material.
Seems like the option that you went with since you brought in Communist Creeper, or whatever that guy's name is, into the situation.
Again, I did not bring in Communist Creeper. I did not want to make this some crazy drama for extreme views and shit, even when I first saw my thumbnail had been stolen. I still hope we could just settle this privately and that this doesn't need to blow up. To prove I did not try and get Creeper to jump into this, I might as well leak my entire DM conversations with him. I reached out to ask if I could use some background gameplay, and we talked a bit the following day when he told me he saw my video and was gonna make one himself. And the rest is him basically just sending me images about Blaz and people. So no, I did not get Communist Creeper to make a video on this. He did it by himself.
It would have to be a product. Now, you're not selling it, so it can't be a product. And so he had rights to use it.
That is technically correct, but we are talking about YouTube's copyright system here, and as an individual creator on YouTube, they will protect you as long as whatever you shared on this website, that could be a video or a thumbnail, is used by another person without your consent, which is exactly what happened and why YouTube's system applies correctly here.
Now, the last thing I have to say about this Watermelon guy is that he actually linked Blaz in the description below, which is a horrible idea if you guys don't know. For example, I've said this in a couple of videos before. It's different if one person is going after it. It's different if multiple people are going at somebody.
Okay, this is such a dumb argument that was also brought up by Wheatenly, who we'll cover last. And first of all, how you can say we were multiple people? Again, when I released my video, I did not expect anyone else going after Blaz. And secondly, this guy is out here telling me I should not have credited Blaz, because my at the time about 70 subs would go over to harass him, despite me clearly stating I do not support harassment in any way. I mean, I credit sources in my description for fair use and research reasons since my second commentary video ever. And I guarantee you right now, the same people that now criticize me for crediting him would be bashing me like there's no tomorrow had I not given credit to him after using his material. I'm positive they would call me a massive hypocrite, but because I did credit him, they're saying it's just because I want my community to go and harass him. I mean, you can make this up, and the rest of this video is just aimed at Creeper despite him constantly using the plural, implying that I stand the exact same grounds as Creeper. So overall, the part about me was very flawed. Okay, so finally we hit the last person that made a video against me, and he is by far the most slanderous and manipulative creator out of these three, which is ironically what he's accusing me of. And with his video, he previously hit me up several times practically begging me to do an interview with him, and after I realized he was obviously just gonna use that stuff out of context, I told him I'd be down for a private conversation if he really aims to settle things privately, and that conversation quickly stopped because I pretty soon realized he was just gonna take whatever I say anyway and publish it. And despite me not even making any new claims at all in that small conversation, he still assured me that he will not record. And with that in mind, mind, let's look at his video.
I want you to see this because when I confronted him about the information he got wrong and how he took things out of context, he only responded to 2 things out of that. So even though he knew this information, he never gave any disclaimer at any point in the comments or anything. That is how I know not only this is willful ignorance, this is malicious intent.
Great, this video is full of him just leaking my text, even though they're not even incriminating at all. Do we have such sunken standards in this community that we have to resort to pretending to want to solve things privately just to screenshot everything the other person said? I mean, what did I expect really from a video with the description Materwelon is gay? I mean, you can't be serious, man. I'm not gonna go down to the level of showing random Discord messages out of context just to try and make the other person look bad, even though I totally could.
And Gazzy, who he didn't even mention by name. So yeah, you could say this guy's a view whore.
Yeah, I'm such a view whore for using tags in my videos. That's the fucking kid that came up with genius videos like this one. I mean, in all honesty, this guy just wants to defend Blaz at all costs and is twisting the truth massively to get there. He still thinks Blaz did nothing wrong at all, and he tells me I am the one who made false claims instead.
He photoshopped the view count to make it look worse than it actually was.
He also makes this out to be such a huge lie when even on his screen where he's zoomed in you can barely even see it. Truth is, I added another one to make his video seem bigger than mine, cause he was a bigger creator after all. Does that change anything about my claims? No.
Also, for someone who's throwing such a temper tantrum over a thumbnail which he claims is his copyrighted material, wouldn't it be funny if he were to, use someone else's copyrighted material in said thumbnail?
Do you not see a clear difference between using a picture of a creator, putting it onto a free-to-use background, in most cases from Unsplash, adding some also free-to-use effects, and occasional text, which is how I usually make my videos, and just taking another thumbnail of Google? Like, there is a clear line to be drawn here between these two things. Going by your logic, you would have to strike down people like Pyrocynical or Cowboys, because they technically don't hold full copyright of any picture of a creator they put into their thumbnails, which we all know would be total BS.
He stole my thumbnail, guys. Please feel bad for me. I'm such a victim. Oh my god. Which is just a complete overreaction.
Yeah, not like these people made a combined amount of 8 videos on this drama and spammed every goddamn comment section together to make it seem like they are winning in the public eye and refuse to reach any agreement privately. But I'm the one that's overreacting. Yeah, sure my guy, this is the same dude that goes on to randomized servers like Minecraft SMPs and sends images of communist creeper allegedly saying the N-word. Yeah, you're really mature my guy.
Multiple people commented, not just us. He only selected us, obviously, because he can get views out of us.
This is so goddamn manipulative, man. They're trying to tell me I left out important context by not including their friends' comments. Okay, then let's add his comment and see what it changes. Nothing at all. The context is entirely the same. He just tries to make me seem like the manipulative bad guy when that's all he himself does. I mean, his whole video he never even admits that Blaz did anything wrong. Needless to say, complete bullshit. I really wonder where these 2 dislikes could have possibly come from. I only joked about these 2 coming at me for my video and there only being 2 dislikes, which was clearly a joke and nothing more. And he jerks himself off in front of his mirror for being able to show he didn't dislike the video. Yeah, great, you managed to disprove a fucking joke. Congratulations. I actually do know my way around YouTube quite a bit, and in case you didn't know, by pressing CTRL plus U followed by CTRL plus F, YouTube will actually take you to the thumbnail of the video. Now he tries to show that my image can be found on Google, which refutes jack shit, as I was talking about how Blaz himself claimed somebody sent him the thumbnail in the clip he used.
Dumbass, who almost got literally everything wrong in a video, manipulated screenshots.
Yeah, so far everything you said in your video varies from completely wrong to manipulative, so I don't know why you put yourself on this pedestal when you're clearly getting way more stuff wrong on purpose than even Creeper did. Also, you're the one who still thinks Blaz did 0 wrong despite clearly contradicting himself multiple times. So stop thinking you're better than other people. Like, for the sake of an example, let's say you owned like an art gallery or some shit, and some random guy came up and handed this piece of artwork over to you. Then you are truly an absolute moron if you don't do as little as a 10-second background check to make.
Yes, because a YouTube thumbnail is proportionate to, actual fucking art that is put in a gallery and sold for millions of dollars. Yep, that makes sense.
I'm obviously not saying my thumbnails equals to the Mona Lisa, by the way. He then goes on to show some proof that one of the thumbnails had not been stolen by Blaz, but he actually made it, which is great, honestly. But then again, in my video I did not claim this thumbnail to be 100% stolen. Only Creeper did that. I simply pointed to evidence that led me to believe that it wouldn't be far-fetched for this thumbnail to be stolen as well. Finally, let's listen to his last goddamn point, and afterwards I can hopefully start fixing my sleeping schedule. The other guy uses this avatar, so it's not too far-fetched to say he most likely took it from somewhere else. Okay, so he twists this into me saying he stole his avatar. Alright, now, let's look at what I actually said. And one of the guys in the thumbnail is literally a bunny cartoon character. And neither of these people choose to represent themselves as anything close to rabbit. Blaz's avatar is always either X or Juice WRLD, and the other guy uses this avatar, so it's not too far-fetched to say he most likely took it from somewhere else. And that was obviously referring to the thumbnail and not his personal avatar. He either didn't listen to my video properly, or he purposely is twisting my words yet again to make me seem like the bad guy in the situation when I was not even attacking him. And that's thankfully where his video ends. But before we'll conclude this video, I do have to set some things right I myself got wrong in my first video, because unlike others, I can actually take accountability and own up to errors I made. So first of all, while I never claimed anybody was a Nazi, I did claim Blaz himself sent Nazi images, and I got that wrong. It wasn't him, but another member of his Discord, so please don't go over to his channel and call him a Nazi. Even when I was under the impression he sent these pictures, I still didn't think he was a Nazi, so please just stop throwing that word around so lightly. And secondly, I showed the screenshot of Wheatenly having some kind of argument with another guy about an exposed video, and it was not my place to bring this up at all. I did not have enough context behind it, and I do apologize for both of these mistakes. The initial response part in my video was kind of flimsy, I can admit that. The entire point of that section was to showcase his immature first response, and that kind of failed. Also, I should not have been so rude in his Discord, and I do take accountability for this. I shouldn't have been so quick to jump the gun. But on the other side, I have been nothing but polite to these people for the past weeks, and they were clearly not. But it still was wrong, and I do apologize. Okay, so as a verdict, who is really ruining the community here? The people that record slanderous videos with a lot of manipulative, out of context, quote-unquote evidence, or somebody that just made a video standing his ground? I think the answer here is obvious. I just hope we can finally be done with this. Creeper and Blaz can fight all they want, but I do not want any involvement in this shit show anymore. At least Blaz finally reached out to me privately yesterday, aka the thing I did literally from the first day, and I'm hoping we can reach an agreement. Although I do still criticize a lot of Blaz, DK's, and Wheatenly's actions, but I also took some clear missteps. That being said, again, don't harass anybody mentioned here, and please do not let me become a stereotypical small commentator who gets into constant beef with other small YouTubers. That is truly something I will try and avoid at all costs. Okay, Jesus Christ, I can't even record an outro. Hire me as your thumbnail editor, please.